We are joined now by Dr. Jennifer Ashton, who serves as the chief medical correspondent for ABC News. And let's begin, Dr. Ashton, with the Rudy Gobert news. How concerned should the NBA be about other players getting coronavirus now that Gobert has tested positive?
Well, listen, obviously, I'm not the medical consultant for the NBA, but I think that it is pretty common sense that not just the basketball league, but any league, anyone who has responsibility for thousands and thousands of people, I think are taking it seriously. I think, one player testing positive right now, to be clear, we expect more. To be honest with you, this is a sport and an environment where there's prolonged, very close contact, obviously. And by the way, contact not just between players, but also fans and officials and coaching staff. So we expect to see more cases as we're able to test more. But I think aggressive measures that enforce basic common sense social distancing are really important now, not just for the individual community, but for a broader community and our population in general.
Yeah, Dr. Ashton, you mentioned the fans. How concerned should some of the fans be that may have just given high fives to some of their favorite players in the arenas?
I mean, I think that at this point, no more concerned than they would be, in their grocery store or, in their community environments. I think that right now it's just important to note that for every one case you hear about, there could be 10 or 50 or 100 more that you don't hear about. Because we do know that this is a respiratory pathogen that appears to be highly transmissible. And there are some people who will be infected that don't even have symptoms or have such mild symptoms that they never seek medical attention and testing. So I think, this is just an example, a high-profile example of how this is spreading in this country. And for people who think that, reports have been overhyped or actions have been overhyped, in medicine and science, we always have to err on the side of caution. And since we don't know a lot of history on this virus because it is so new, I think that's why you're seeing such aggressive measures being taken out of an abundance of caution.
Excellent perspective. Dr. Jennifer Ashton, chief medical correspondent for ABC News. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
News spread quickly around the NBA last night while other games were in progress. That, at 9:33 Eastern Time, was the shocked reaction of Mark Cuban after he was shown an email from the league office announcing the suspension of the regular season. Here is what Cuban and others had to say about it.
This is people's lives at stake. This isn't about basketball. This isn't about the Mavericks. This isn't about, when do we start or do we start or how do we start. This is a pandemic, a global pandemic where people's lives are at stake. And, I'm a lot more worried about my kids and my mom, who's 82 years old, and talking to her and telling her to stay in the house than I am about when we play our next game.
You think this is, it's not going to affect us. We're the NBA. One of our players has the coronavirus. And, who knows what that means for their team and the other teams that, have been with them. So you really get concerned for just what's going on, not just here in the NBA, but in the entire world. These are things that you watch in movies. You watch a movie about this stuff, and now we're living it and trying to, take it day by day and figure out how to move forward and get some clarity.
It shows you how, fragile it is. Here it is a player that is in our league that, a lot of players have come in contact with. So that's a concern, and that's why it's prudent for Adam to suspend the season until we get a hold of it and get a grasp of it.
Here's some of the reaction on social media. Evan Fournier of the Magic was just on the phone with Rudy, meaning Gobert. He is doing good, man. Let's not panic, everyone. Love you all. LeBron James tweeted, man, we're canceling sporting events, school, office, work. What we really need to cancel is 2020. Damn, it's been a rough 3 months. God bless and stay safe. Steph Curry tweeted, 2020 ain't it. Don't know what to compare the situation to. Just got to buckle up and take care of yourself and those around you. Basketball will be back at some point. But right now, protect yourself and stay safe out there. Let's bring this to our table here to discuss. And we have a couple of former players here, Matt Barnes and Jay Wool. And Jay, I'll start with you. When you saw this last night, and obviously this is something that we have been talking about in the lead up to it, what was your reaction?
First off, it's sad for us as a society that this needs to happen to Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, or Rudy Gobert, an NBA player, for us to take this whole thing very seriously. It's been happening to a lot of people who haven't had big names, and it's been going on for a while. Secondly, this is unprecedented for the league. And I agree with you. Two things can both be true at once. They have made provisions. The NBA did make provisions, and they were allowed to have that kind of care for guys like Stephen Curry or to care for Rudy Gobert to get tested. But in the same breath, they also dragged their feet a little bit on this, guys. And I think we have to be realistic about this. The fact that they didn't have one uniform decision, so you're not allowing fans to be in the building, but still, the players, you don't know who they've been in contact with. You don't know who their family members will be in contact with or friends, but you allow them to play. So the fact that they had split decisions from different entities, from the Washington Wizards, from the Cleveland Cavs, as opposed to Golden State. If you're like, oh, Golden State is not playing, well, the mayor of the city of San Francisco deemed them not eligible to play. So I kind of think that's somewhat of a poor reflection on the league. I understand we still have a lot of room to go, but on Adam Silver, just to make a uniform decision from the beginning about this should have been nipped in the bud from the beginning, guys.
I think the fact that the only positives, to piggy off what Jay said about Rudy Gobert or Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks having it, is now that we're going to have people of some sort of stature, it'll be monitored. So we're going to be able to see how serious their symptoms are in the process they take to recover, or how, okay, well, if we handle it A, B, and C, you should be okay. So now, that, like I said, the fact that there are celebrities that have it, I think it'll be closely monitored, and we're going to be able to get a real scale of how serious this disease is.
Well, you had told us yesterday, Matt, that were it up to you as a player, you would prefer to suspend games entirely than to play them in empty arenas.
I just thought we just needed to take a step back and really find out more information about this. This is unprecedented territory. You know, we're in uncharted waters right now, and this is something that's never been done. So as we've been reporting yesterday, China took a certain route. You know, we needed to just take a step back. Sports is not the end-all, be-all. We need to take a step back and really figure out what we're dealing with.
And guys, can I say this, just as an NBA player, at least you're incentivized. You can make millions of dollars. When I look at the NCAA tournament, all right, you're still working out name, image, and likeness state by state.
Let me just say, let me give a piece of advice to the NCAA.
Thank you, Brian.
And the Players' Championship and everybody else. Don't be late, be early.
Yes.
Shut it down.